Welcome to Whitted Media. Thank you, everybody, for joining us today. We got a special episode. First, I want to start off by saying rest in peace to my little bro, Yen. If you're out there, I ask y'all to please just pray for the family. Pray for peace. Pray for peace for his children, sisters, aunts, everybody. So up today, we're going back into the uncomfortable place, the no comfort zone. Julian Taylor takes Gino Harris head on. But before we do that, I want to bring my brother Roylin Petties on so we could discuss the CWBA, Ice Cube's contract with Black America. What's going on, brother Roylin?
Hey, how are you?
Good, man. Good. How you doing today, man?
I can't complain. I cannot complain. Glad to be here with you.
My man. So, we've been talking about this ever since the whole controversy.
Mm-hmm.
You, myself, and Gino, we spoke about it last week. I know you've been doing some research on it. So give us some of your key takeaways of what you think about the CWBA and some details, some things that you really like.
The first thing is after doing some research, I realized these are all great pieces that we could use to be able to help build our communities. That's the first thing. And so the one thing that stuck out to me first is one of the major points that he had is the constitutional amendment expanding the expansion of the 13th Amendment by the court. And what people don't realize is the 13th Amendment actually condones slavery in the space of prison. And because we are one of the leading populations in prison, if we get this codified in the courts to say that slavery in anything is illegal, that would be beneficial to Black people because we're working, like the criminal justice system uses us for that. So that was one of the major takeaways that I had. In the police reform as in banning chokeholds. And one thing he has in here that I highlighted that I really like was tampering with evidence resulting in an automatic dismissal from the force. So if it's found out that any officer tampered with the evidence, that would be automatic dismissal. No ladder mill, no arbitration. You tampered with evidence. We proved it. Now you got to go. Mm-hmm. Yeah. So that was when I read that, I was like, that could be a game changer because it would hold the bad police responsible while preserving the integrity of the department.
Yeah, that's definitely huge, man. That's definitely huge, man. I was looking at the financial side, and I think that it's huge. How do you feel about the financial side?
I actually think that it's good too. And the one thing that I like about that is trying to set out loans and for the percentage of Black people in our country. And the banking and lending finance reform portion, when he talked about the federal plan of baby bonds, that's huge for young African-American children. It says this, it was proposed by Derek Hamilton and will provide for every child born in lower wealth families with an account that started with $1,000 and will continue to be funded by the government based upon the wealth if the family makes $46,500, as proposed by Senator Booker and Representative Presley. So it will be funded up until the age of 18, I'm assuming, so $1,000 a year, as long as your family meets that threshold. And that would be a great start for families of lower income. When I went to Belize on a cruise, one of the things that Belize does, when one of the citizens turns 18, they give you an acre of land. It's your choice to build, to sell, whatever the case is, but they give you that acre and they say, and you're like, wow, I never, that's amazing. You know what I mean? So yeah, there is. It's a great idea.
Right. And I think that's huge because we spoke about last time that you can't fix the problem without the people who have the problem. And in there, when it said that you have to meet the criteria of a certain amount of income, that's important. Also, another point that I seen in there was that at 18, either you can only use it for college or to generate more money.
Yeah, I do believe so. And
that's huge.
That's huge. You're right.
You know what I'm saying? Because I think we have a spending issue in our culture, not just the black culture, the poor culture. You know what I'm saying? It's the consumer mindset. So people might just be waiting to turn 18 just to spend the money. But I think it's dope that you can't use it unless it's to be productive and you know what I'm saying, and to build with it. So that's definitely huge, man. That's definitely huge. Let's see what else they got on here. They got police reform. You spoke about that. Prison reform. Lending reform. Can you break down the lending reform? I didn't get a chance to look into that.
Now, when I looked at it, I glanced over because the one thing that I studied, and I'll double back to it, is the education part. You know, as an assistant principal, that was key for me. But what it's saying is that the way that the banking is set up now, if you and I go in with a credit score of 800, okay, somebody white could come in with a credit score of 800, but on average, we will receive probably 2 to 3 points higher interest rate than our white counterpart. Same income, same and everything. You know what I mean? So what he's saying is that these formulas have to be equalized. And one of the things is when we talked about a couple conference ago was redlining. And that's one of the things, you know, in 2015, Bank of America was sued for $350 million class action lawsuit, and they lost. Wow. They were redlining. They were giving black people higher interest rates as compared to their white counterparts with the same income, same score. So what's happening is in his banking reform, it's saying we got to even those standards. And one of my suggestions would be just to literally eliminate your race. Just get based upon your credit, your income. Can you afford this house? And that's a simple thing. Eliminate the box that says what color you are.
Yeah, it seems as though like the contract with Black America is really undeniable because it's not about handouts. It's not about taking from anybody. It's literally saying, yo, just make it an even playing field. You know what I mean?
You are 100% correct.
That's really all it is. So I respect it. Anything else you want to say about it before we move out?
Definitely the education piece. The reason why it's so important to me as an assistant principal is because education is a pathway that I've always felt that could be used to lift up our young African-American males, females, and any person of color along with their white counterparts. And trying to close the achievement gap is important. But the one thing that he said, and it's the opening point, predominantly white schools are about $2,000 per pupil more funded than school districts that have a concentration of minority.
Why is that?
I'm not sure. I think that one of the formulas is property tax in Pennsylvania, and a higher concentration of poor people is usually people of color, minorities, and so a lot of us are renters. We don't own, and that goes back to that lending piece. But we are renters, so the property taxes are less in our communities, which then means we have less money, which then provides less support for our students, which then helps our students become identifiable as special ed, or they fall behind, and then they're by the time that they get to 8th, 9th, 10th, 11th grade. So that's one piece that he's saying to make the funding across the board. Black, white, whatever. Make the funding across the board to be able to service all of our students. Not just the black, not just the white, but everybody, so that we have the proper service. Because if you raise the property taxes in Midland, where I live, as compared to Lebanon, you have a big difference in the income that can come into a school. You know, the income in Mount Lebanon can have a teacher and probably 2 paraprofessionals. The income in Midland pays half of the year healthcare insurance for a teacher. That's it.
And see, that's huge. And that's just another point that just says even the playing field. Again, it's not a handout. It's not, it's literally just saying even the playing field, make sure everybody got access. So I'm definitely for it, man. I appreciate you, Brother Roylin, for coming on. Of course, you already know we're gonna do this again.
For sure.
You know what I'm saying? You have a good night, bro.
Hey, not a problem. You have a good night too.
My dude. Before we go into the no comfort zone with brother Julian, brother Gino, like, share this out. These is talks that we're going to keep bringing to you. Make sure you subscribe. We're going to keep bringing information that you're just not going to get anywhere. Real conversations that you're not going to get anywhere else. So, but without further ado, let's enter the no comfort zone. I got my brothers Julian Taylor, Mr. Gino Harris with me. What's going on, bros?
You muted.
You muted, G.
Grow up, Gino.
I said the champ is here. You know what it is.
Man, I had to reach out to y'all. I kept getting notifications. For some reason, I'm not subscribed to either of you, but I keep getting notifications. Y'all had over 300, 400 comments. It seemed like y'all was just going back and forth. So I said we got to bring it to the table,
right?
And have this discussion. Now, let's first talk about what's going on, G. Oh, there you go. At first, I feel like at this point we already know everybody's going to vote for who they're going to vote for. So yes. It's no point in even trying to sway anybody. All the persuasion's done with. Right. Let's talk about who wins, who you guys think going to win it, and what do we think the result? Let's talk about Trump. If Trump wins, what do we feel like is going to happen over the next 4 years? I'll start with you, Gino.
If Donald Trump wins, I think we're going to get more laws. I think we're going to get more policies. I think we're going to get more progress. I think that the guy is actually going to, carry off what he started. I think that this is the most progression, and I think he'll keep his word. I mean, I think that, Donald Trump has given us no reason as to why he would lie. I think that, or not keep his word, considering we gave him 8% and he gave us policies and laws that, have progressed us. I don't see him lying about it. And I think we're going to move the needle. I think the red wave's coming, and the black vote going to be nice on the right side, man.
Okay, brother Julian, I'll let you respond to that. How do you feel about his response? What do you think is going to happen if Trump wins?
If Trump wins, I think systematic racism still stays in effect. I honestly think that some of the racist undertones will still go on. Along with that, will some policy get passed? Some policy will get passed to balance out the racial injustices that are happening to Black people and to other minorities around the world. But I mean, it's more acceptable, but we'll get laws passed. So it'll be like a more or less saying we got freedoms with the same social injustices that keep happening. Now, do I believe that some groups become more important if Trump wins? Yes, I think Gino becomes extremely important. A lot of people think me and Gino probably hate each other. We don't. We're really good friends. I honestly believe Black voices for Trump actually becomes very important. Gino needs to do what that group says they're going to do. They're going to support Black people. They're going to fight for us. They're going to fight for our injustices. That's when we need to actually, bring them to the table, if we're Democrat or not, and say, hey, Gino, like, you got an in, you got 8, 9, 10%, whatever for the Republican Party, but we need these things, because at the end of the day, we can't stop just because the president has maybe a different letter behind his name. We need to still get the progress that we're trying to move, because I mean, Gino is one of the first people that will talk about Breonna Taylor. I know that. I've looked at his Facebook. I've talked to him numerous times about it. What happened was just wrong. So that issue needs to be addressed. And I think if Trump is the man to win, that we don't just be like, wait 4 years for whoever runs. No. We need stuff done. So Black Voices for Trump is, has a say. We need to make sure that that's what they're talking about. We need to work.
Let me ask you the same question about Biden. What do you think? Because you said systematic racism is still going to be intact, and you also stated that Black Voices for Trump need to hold him accountable. What do you think is going to happen if Biden wins?
We're still going to have systematic racism. We're still not going to get everything that we want. And I mean, will we be at a front page? They get 97% of our vote, so we better be. He's saying that if he wins, we will get a Black Supreme Court Justice woman. I think that's very important. He also says that, the Black people will get a little bit more. We'll have more leaders of color. We'll have more people in power, more Black people in powerful positions. So I'm praying that if he does when he stays true to his word, so that we can get more things accomplished, as in more criminal justice reform, more fighting against African-American predatory lending, opening up more maybe opportunity zones, or more things for Black people. So I'm hoping that tide does turn, because he went to South Carolina and basically pandered to the Black vote. So if he receives 97% of the Black vote, he cannot not do for the Black people in this election. 2020, I mean, it's polarizing right now what's happening to Black people. So he must do he must do for the people that voted for him. And if he's not going to do that, I mean, come 2024.
Okay, brother Gino, I'll let you respond to that. What do you feel is going to happen if my man Biden wins?
I think, and I agree with Julian, but what I would add is, I think if Joe Biden wins, what will happen? Nothing. I mean, truthfully, I think I agree with the sentiments of Julian. I think as far as systemic racism, I think we have a long way to go. I think we're heading in the right direction. I think that Joe Biden's not the guy to lead us. I mean, I think that I agree with Julian absolutely that we need more criminal justice. We need better, more opportunity. We need all of that. But I think it's who better to lead that than the man who brought it in. I think Joe Biden has, a career politician. He got 47 years, ain't getting nothing for us, man. I mean, he's been getting our vote his whole career, and I just feel like he's not going to do nothing. I agree with Julian though. I think that we need both sides. It's honest. I mean, you know how I feel about it. We got to get on both sides of the fence, and like Julian said, it's like Black voice for Trump. We're going to hold him accountable. I mean, as far as Trump, as far as Biden, I genuinely feel, he's not going to do nothing unless we give him more. We give Trump more than, let's say, for instance, we give Trump 16%. I think if we give 16%, I think Joe Biden and the Democrats will feel a gut punch, and they'll see that shift like, whoa, he doubled the Black vote. I think at that time, they'll come to a realization that they have to do something. So again, I think, us voting on the right is going to be beneficial regardless. But I think is that the Republican Party is, they're wide open for a reunion with the Black community. I'm telling y'all now, I meet with them. I interact with them. There's no prejudice. I don't feel that at all. I think it's wide open. I think you're going to have a nice Black establishment. You're going to see up and coming brothers and sisters running on the Republican ticket. And I think this ain't going to stop. I think that, like Julian, to piggyback off of him, is we have to have both sides, because we have to be able to hold each side accountable when in office. And, Black Voices for Trump is going to do it. And if they don't, well, Gino's going to do it.
What's your response to that, Julian?
Me and Gino have had like 30,000 arguments. One thing that I do believe that Gino does say that is actually correct is if you give yourself to one thing constantly and it's not working out for you, maybe that is wrong. He opened my eyes that maybe, we can't volley one way. We need to volley both parties to get whatever we need so that we make our vote more impactful. I actually believe Gino on that. That's actually something that, it took me a long time to listen to him, but I'm not saying vote that way this time. I'm saying that we need to make sure that when we go vote for things that are good for the Black community. And maybe we haven't done that in the years past, or we haven't done that every consistent time. We need to do that from a local level, a state level, and a federal level. I don't think we've done it in our local elections with maybe mayorships and our township supervisors. And we haven't done that in our state representatives, our state senators, vice versa with our House of Reps and our state reps. Our state senators. Our U.S. senators, sorry. We haven't done that. We haven't voted in the best interest of us. I'm using an example. Let's say Lindsey Graham was a hardcore racist in where's Lindsey Graham's from South Carolina, right, Gino? Yeah. So he's from South Carolina. Let's say his main town was the biggest African American section of South Carolina, but they're constantly still voting for him. They're voting against their interests. And I think that African Americans are very uneducated. I seen a post on Facebook yesterday that said, is an uneducated voter worse than a non-voter? In my opinion, I would rather the non-voter vote, because you're liable to kill a great candidate that's trying to fight against the establishment. If you're uneducated on who's running, I don't care if you're Democrat or Republican, you might be voting against your best interest. If the Democrats are hard racist, yet I'm just prone to vote Democrat, I'm voting against my interests. Vice versa, if Gino were to be voting Republican, and that's a hardcore racist, he's voting against his best interest. So if you're an uneducated voter, your best bet, in my opinion, is just to don't go vote. Because I mean, people don't understand, like, our voice is heard in the ballot box. And when somebody argues with me like, oh, I don't vote, in my opinion, like, yeah, I'll tell them to go vote, explain why. But when they're stuck on that, I believe it's because they don't know how. They don't know how to register. They don't know where to go polling places and certain things like that. But that's a key killer, and especially the Black community is the voting thing. I mean, I would take a big jump in the Republican Party to vote 30% to get every African American to vote for something that's in the interest of them. I would take that. Now, as much as everybody says African Americans vote 97% Democrat, it's still about the people. I want all African Americans to voice their opinion in America when systematic racism is so big in America for Black people. So that's my biggest problem with Black people and voting and things like that. I mean, we're never going to get it right. I mean, let's say, look, this has been polarizing since George Floyd, if we want to agree on that, and say that that's the starting point of all this. But by that point, I mean, they polarized to death, but still haven't rolled back what's good for African Americans. So if we're sitting here talking today, I'm talking from an African American point of view, is that, I mean, it's 2020 and we're still fighting racism. So that means that both parties have done a piss poor job, in my opinion.
Right, truth, and to take the credit, I take the credit away from them, and I put it more or less on us. I think this is a cultural issue,
right?
Because I think any other block group like LGBT, even Latinos, they'll go from the protesting to being organized, like what Ice Cube's trying to do, and approach both sides and make sure that a bipartisan issue gets passed. So, I mean, let's move past so much politics and let's talk about culture in our Black community. I actually want to get together a whole new segment for that. But let's briefly touch on it and what we could do over these next 4 years as a culture to make sure that we could change things from finances to self-improvement, even local politics. You know what I'm saying? Like, what are your opinions on our culture?
Well, I think the problem is that I think that our culture is very it's kind of unique and different, good and bad. I think that we support each other, but when it really comes to push come to shove, we really don't. And I think we're quick to chastise somebody for being different politically. So it's like, I remember growing up, wearing different clothes would kind of get you some jokes. And then like by high school, people really didn't trip. And then like as an adult, we don't even care. But yet when it comes to politics, I think it's kind of crazy how, if you are, Republican, Black, how chastised you can be. Like I literally seen an article. They said Steve Harvey, Martin Luther King Jr., and Kanye West lose their Black card for meeting with Trump. Like, who are you to say anybody lost anything? You don't like, and here's the thing. That was, I believe, 3 years ago. And the funny thing is that Ice Cube's going through it now. I mean, just for going to meet with somebody, to talk with somebody, to strategize, you lose your Black card, you get cancel culture by each other. It's ridiculous. I mean, at the end of the day, what is in our culture? Why are we so loyal to the Democrats? Like it's literally insanity. Like honestly, if you want to just be honest, we should have loyalty to no side, no party. We should have loyalty to neither side every election, honestly. And we should be like, no, what have you done for us lately? What are you going to do? Every election based on our history. But it's not. It's like oh my gosh, if you're not Democrat, you're not black. It's like, what have they done to deserve that allegiance? And there's nobody can answer that because they ain't did nothing. It's just like programmed. But I think that we have to move past that. I think that, with brothers like our generation, honestly, is it, man. I'm gonna be completely honest with y'all. Our generation is gonna usher in the new era. The old generation to me has failed. Like, listen, we got some old heads on the call. Hey, no offense. You failed. I mean, politically, you failed. I mean, and culturally, I think they've led us to be where we are today. I think that, I agree with Murdy. I think we talked before about the fathers. I think we're coming into everyone's being fathers. A lot of people are stepping up and being fathers. That's crucial, which we know politically they tried to take out in our community. And I just think that it's our time, man. It's our moment. Our generation, man. We're the what? We're the millennials, I guess. Ain't that what I mean, I think that's what they call us. It's kind of embarrassing based on some things they say about us. But I'll tell you what, we ain't loyal. We ain't loyal to. Yeah, I agree, Brother Robinson. I agree. But the thing is our generation, honestly, which is a good thing. We're kind of a rebellious generation. We don't tend to listen to things if they don't make sense. And I think that politically that's going to save us. And I think that we're going to bring a new era. Go ahead.
I think the number one thing is we got information at our fingertips. You know what I'm saying? And I don't think any old head could disagree with it. I feel like, when the civil rights era came and Lyndon B. Johnson, we were allowed to vote and things changed for the better. I think it almost ushered in almost like a honeymoon period. And then the crack era came. So there's a lot of great excuses why they didn't move forward. I feel like we got information at our fingertips. You can't just tell me anything. Because think about it. The reason we know about the 94 crime bill and the reason the reason I know about Trump and the Central Park 5 is because of social media and because of Netflix. You know what I'm saying? Like, so that's why I feel like they weren't the way we are. You know what I'm saying?
I feel it. And that's a great excuse for him, brother. Like, that's a great one. But I beg to differ. And here's why. If you listen to speeches of Malcolm and Martin, and I mean what Martin and not just Martin, but the civil rights leaders was able to do back then and lead the black vote 80% for Kennedy. I mean, across the nation, 80%. I mean, they were so, if you just listen to how they speak, they were so educated without the internet. I think their leaders that was before them, because it's not that era. It's the second, it's the generation after them. So it's more of like Elijah Cummings and them's era, Al Sharpton and them's era. I think that they didn't take notes.
I think they was babies, bro. Like, they're out here protesting. No, the generation that you say failed, bro, they were babies. They was in the crib.
His head busted marching. He was young. He was a teenager.
So he's a part of that generation. He's not a generation. So Elijah Cummings' generation is the generation you're talking about?
Elijah Cummings' generation, Al Sharpton and them were the hurt. And again, Elijah's gone, so I don't like to, but this is history. They herded us Democrat. I feel, I think they were, they took the mantle after the great ones were gone, and they herded us to the left. And they were in politics, especially Elijah and I forget the one that looks just like him, right? John Lewis.
Right. I was like, wait, I thought he died.
John Lewis was the one that got hit, not Elijah, I believe. But they look just alike. But anyway, I'm just saying they hoarded us left. And all I'm saying is the generation after them followed suit. Now, again, you can maybe give that excuse to them. I'm talking right after the civil rights, the leaders who took the mantle right after, they hoarded us left, and we ain't been right since. And that's the problem. I think we have to be both sides. And I think our generation is going to usher in that era.
I see you shaking your head, Julian. You got a response?
No, I don't think it's a hoard. I mean, let's not take anything away from any leader of any generation for any black person. I mean, you can disagree with the leaders, but let's not say like they hoarded us or anything like that. Let's just say we disagree. Now, I believe that after Martin and all them, so here's what happened. In my point of view, it could be different from everybody. Martin was shot, Martin was killed. Malcolm was shot, Malcolm was killed, right? They made Malcolm seem like it was an inner black thing. Therefore, the common denominator in all of it, black on black crime, which one thing is taught to us, which is preached in school, that black on black crime is a thing. When white people kill white people just as much as black people kill black people, but they don't call it white on white crime. So let's stop using that terminology. There's my little segue. So let's end that. So then you want to say that Martin was killed. We never really found it out, saying Martin lived in the hospital. He was suffocated by doctors. That's factual information. Look it up. Is it true? We don't know. But they killed our leaders. Pause. We go get new leaders. The new leaders didn't have what we got to go back a little bit. What was the first thing that they hit the churches with? To stay non-political. 501(c)(3) nonprofit. So they told that each church that churches cannot participate in political things if they want to keep their nonprofit status. So once they did that, they therefore weakened the black people by taking the nonprofit position out. So that black people still continue to go to church from the 60s, 70s, 80s, and 90s at a higher rate. Basically, Martin Luther King segued himself to the top of his leaderboard by going to church. The church movement, pastors to pastors, which we had this talk before, Gino, about how we thought that the community church leaders are actually not doing their job. So they use a church line, which would be our social media, to pass their message. Now, if I go and get on my skateboard and drink some orange juice while singing Kanye West, I could go viral. That just happened. The fact of going viral and hearing your speeches so quickly is just an internet craze. So there's so many people going viral day in and day out that not one black leader in the African American community can go to that top. Now, you would say, well, what about Barack? Barack would be a leader, but he's a leader of a political party. Martin Luther King was a leader of black people. He spoke for black people. He didn't speak for the Republican black people or the Democratic black people. He spoke for the people. Now, do we have that black person that speaks for the people? No, because we're so politically divided because of the polarization of America. So that's why I disagree with you on we got herded left, we got herded right. No, politics became a herd. You either are on the left, you are on the right. So that's how I live. Now, we all stuck together, which, in my opinion, I feel like we're the biggest divided of communities. We don't have a black national agenda. And the reason why the LGBTQ community got all their rules passed and they fought so long, they've been fighting for this since the 90s, but they fought one full agenda. They wanted equality. They wanted equality. They wanted the right to marry. They wanted the right to be whoever they could be, and no matter what happened. And they fought those same three things. Now, is there other things that people in that community wanted? Of course, but they got behind the three things that they wanted to fight. Us black people, we're fighting 18 different battles on one stage. So, I'm saying social injustice, social economic racism. Somebody might be just simply wanting to fight the mortgage loans. Some people say student loan predatory lending. We have so many issues that we don't really have an agenda that we can go say, hey, Trump, this is our agenda. Hey, Biden, this is our agenda. We want equality. We want reparations. We want blah, blah, blah. Da, 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 da. You know what I mean? We don't have that thing. And I don't know what that comment was. Hold on. To Mr. Kyle, when you're saying that black people kill each other, I'm not disagreeing with you, sir. I'm literally saying to you, black on black crime is something that is taught in school books to make black people feel as in that we commit crime against each other. Now, if you statistically look at the raw numbers, it says white people kill white people just as much as black people kill black people. There's no difference in numbers. It's actually higher, but they don't teach white on white crime in books. Go open your son's book or your grandson or your nephew. I don't know how you are, Mr. Kyle. I'm not trying to be offensive, but if you open that book and you open their history books, it's going to talk about black on black crime. That's what I'm saying. So they're teaching us that black on black crime is a thing. It's already systematically being racist. They don't teach you white on white crime by numbers. Just what I'm saying.
All right. Well, let's talk about it. And I want to just go back, respond to the hoarding. And again, Julian, I agree with you on especially the church and there's no debate there on that. I'm talking more so you say we weren't hoarded, but we were though, because for the last 60 years we've been voting overwhelmingly Democrat. And you say like, well, we're divided in black Democrat Republican. We're not. The black Republican, bro, we're the minority big time. You know what I mean? It's not even compared. Like, I'm trying to fight to get 12, 10%. I'm trying to get double digits, bro. This is terrible. I mean, so again, I just want you to look at it like this, right? Elijah Cummings, Joe Lewis, and them, they've been in politics for how long? And we got this other brother, I forget his name at the time. He's been like the longest one. They've been there for how long as leaders? And nothing has gotten done. That's why I'm saying, like, when I see a black congressman that's Democrat, I mean, honestly, I don't feel like you're going to do anything. You know, I really don't. I feel like Gino is the minority times 2.
Hey, you said he was fighting for 10%.
Hey, you better watch it before I bring you on the show to get at you. Okay, and Joshua Maben, I agree that, you know, what you're saying with Julian's crime is crime, not race versus race, period. I agree. But let's talk about this though, Julian. Black on black crime is an issue. And I'll tell you why. And here's why. You can say that if you look at numbers, I mean, I think we are higher rate, murder rate than them per capita. We'd have to look that up. But besides numbers, I guarantee you each one of us right now on this call, right now, has lost somebody we either know or was close to gun violence. Now, I guess what? Let there be a white no comfort zone right now. And I'll bet you $1,000 that the 3 white men on there have not lost somebody to gun violence. They may have lost somebody to substance abuse, but they're not losing people this young like that young by gun violence. It's not, bro. And so that's what I'm saying. Like, we can sit there and say, you know, black on black violence isn't, you know, what they're saying. It is. I mean, I've lost people, you know, I listen, man, I lost my best friend, my little brother over that, man. Like, seriously. And again, I don't really want to divulge in that because that's a touchy subject. But at the same
I lost
token,
one of my best friends.
Right.
Tyler Wade, Miss Brenda's son. That's one of my closest friends.
Right.
To gun violence. Yeah.
And look at that, senseless. It's all senseless, right? So again, we can't act like that isn't a plague on our people, man. We are so hostile to each other. It is crazy. I mean, geez, oh man, how many times have we almost fought in the club by accidentally stepping on somebody's shoes, man? It's goofy. And it's like, it's that, honestly, and I can't fully knock it because, you know, I was there. But I think it's time we move as a community past the gangster culture. I really believe it. I lost nobody close to me by police. Yeah. Muhammad. Okay. Hey, I agree. Hey, listen, I don't personally know anybody who was shot by police. I would say absolutely, statistically, we kill each other obviously higher. That's without question. I mean, we're closer in proximity. You know, we interact with each other more so than police. I think that the police issue, though, isn't, again, I think it's an issue, especially with my girl, Brianna, right? But I don't think that we need to be like, oh my gosh, anti-police. That is absurd. If you're really mad over policing, you need to go at your city councils. You need to go at your mayors who enact policies, bro. Now, listen, we could say, you know, it's on the cop. But at the end of the day, they enact the policies and training and things of that nature that they can require officers in this town, in this city, to get access training with this type of specifics. And they can do that. They don't do that. And it's like the left is pumping, you know, justice. But keep in mind, brothers, Obama had more of us killed by police than Donald Trump. Yes, they did. You can look that up, fact check me. And what did he do? What has the Dems do? They could have been banned chokeholds. They could have been banned no-knock warrants. All they are is talk, man, and I'm sick of it. And again, it's on. Listen, both sides could have did it. So again, we ain't gonna make it, you know, blah blah blah. But guess what? I feel for the black community, the Democrats is obligated because they got too much of a damn vote to not give us nothing. And all of a sudden, you trying to use this as pandering. No, I see through it. I mean, for crying out loud, Rand Paul. Some people like him, some don't. Rand Paul is the only one that passed the bill or wanted to get a bill passed for Breonna Taylor. And that resonated with me.
I'm gonna let Julian respond
ahead,
to the Obama comment.
Okay, so let's not act. Okay, first off, I hate the killing of Obama. Like when we say Obama didn't do this, Obama didn't do that. Let's talk factual. Like I agree. Let's say this. Let's say this happens right now. Trump wins, but he loses the Senate and he loses the House. You're going to be saying the same thing that Trump that we were saying about Obama. He didn't do nothing. He didn't do nothing because he didn't have both parties. We have to understand that the president is just a figure of head. More powers in Congress. It's more. I'm not going to say he doesn't set an agenda and try to follow it. I'm never going to disagree with that because life happens, the world happens. He has to follow the day of the world. But at the end of the day, more stuff happens in Congress, and you have to have Congress on your side. So if you have a Republican House, just like if Trump wins and he has a Democratic House, a Democratic Senate, he's not going to get much done. I'm not going to say he's not going to get anything done. He's just not going to get much things done. So if we're going to talk that, let's also put in perspective that he had a Republican House, he had a Republican Senate. Let's just put that in perspective. Now, let's just let that go because we can go Obama, Trump all day. I don't want to do that because I think we're having a good conversation. I just want to address the black on black crime because we're getting killed here. They're coming for me, but I believe like this. I'm not saying that there's not black on black crime. I'm not saying that. I'm saying it's taught to us. Just like slavery is halfway taught to us. Like when you teach us slavery, they talk about Christopher Columbus bringing over here, finding the country. All that is not factually true. I'm literally saying, why are they teaching us about black on black crime, but yet not teaching us about white on white crime? So the fact that they're teaching it to us systematically puts a stigma on black people to already have black on black crime. I'm not saying black on black crime is not an issue. I'm not saying that. I'm saying there's a stigma that is taught to us that black people, tend to commit crime at a higher level or all get to each other. Crime is crime. I don't care if it's rape, murder, whatever. White people are committing the crime just as high as we are, but they're not teaching white on white crime. They're teaching black on black crime. So,
I feel like that's where people are getting it messed up. I feel like what you're saying is basically that they're using the term black on black crime, not that black on black crime isn't an issue.
Exactly. I'm not saying I don't want it to look like I'm neglecting. I mean, like you said, I know Gino, I know you, I know who you lost. I lost somebody to senseless gun violence. Now, with that being said, we can argue to me and you are blue in the face about Democrat, Republican, and what Dems are supposed to do to us or for us. At the end of the day, you can tell me to come right, Gino. And let's say you get a couple people to come right. You said you're voting for what, 10, 13%, right? Just give me a head on. 10, 13% Republican Party. That still ain't going to do nothing. I'm just saying that's what you're voting for today or in this election in 6 days. Let's say you get that, right? So 13%, let's say 13. So the other, 87% goes Democrat. At the end of the day, what is Black people's platform? What are we running on in 2024? Black people. I'm not saying Republican Black people, Democratic Black people. What are Black people running on? I mean, I honestly think let's just call it. Let's just say if we can come down to anything narrow that's Democrat and Republican, it's the way that let's say cops in training to how the insensitive training on how to deal with Black people and people with mental health issues. Let's just say we can get that as the Black agenda for right now. How do we go about doing that, Gino? How can we get enough Black people in the room that will spit the same down the center line without going Republican, without going Democrat to get that passed? I'm asking, not saying y'all aren't going to do it, we're going to do it, or Trump's going to do it, or Biden's going to do it. Let's throw them out the window. Let's turn our hats backwards real quick. And I'm serious. Let's turn it back. We don't have no thing. How can we sit them down to say what are our 4 things? I remember I told you I had a sentence I was ready for the debate tonight to kill you on. I have a thing. This is it. Are you ready for it? And don't use the platinum plan because you can't pay for it yet. So don't use it yet because there is no structure on how you can pay for everything that's offered. Right now,
right. And this brings us back to culture because let's look at the COVID relief grant. There was so many. We got a group called Bank, and we reached out to every single Black business in the area. And not only black businesses, but majority them. And they said, what, only 11 black businesses were awarded it?
Yeah,
and most of them didn't have their paperwork ready. So even with opportunity zones, any of these programs that they put together for people of color, if we don't get our culture to be in a position to have LLCs and to have all their paperwork right and to have numbers and accountants right, like how can we go from that? A lot of these comments right now are asking, what can we do to not wait on politicians and make sure we can take advantage of these programs?
Hey, real quick,
real quick, Gino.
Untuck that sentence and give it, because you know he said that in the debate and Facebook. I got a sentence that will destroy you.
I really do.
Hold it tight. When I say hold it tight,
hold it tight. So here's to come out, because look, I can't answer the sentence myself.
Go ahead.
All right. And I'm not. And you can't. The reason why you can't use the platinum plan is there is no physical structure on how they pay for it. So this is what I'm gonna ask you. Ready? Ready for it?
Yeah.
You ready?
Yeah, I'm ready. Untuck. Go ahead.
All right, ready? Name the top 4 points for black people in the Republican Party and the Democratic Party to get black people more advanced in 2021 to 2024.
Okay, so repeat it one more time.
What are the 4 points?
4 points
that black people can use in the Republican Party over the Democratic Party for the next 4 years in the 2021 to 2024 year? Now, I'm going to tell you something. I cannot answer that question if you reversed it and said the Democratic question. That's how I know you can't answer the question.
All right. Well, listen, yo, you know, huh? All right. So when you say points and you don't want me to say platinum plan,
the only reason why I want to, the only reason why I don't say use the platinum plan, this is the only reason why. It's like me bringing up ACA. Not ACA, but healthcare for all. Now, it's a great thing that is designed to help everybody. The platinum plan is designed to help everybody, but just like ACA, there's a hard time talking about. I don't want it to be like, well, how are we going to pay for it? How are we going to pay for it? I'm saying general laws that will, if we came Republican, they can give us to solidly advance. I'm talking not just here's some crumbs or here's a little bill. I'm saying advance. So, take that stride in the Republican Party to help black people, not hearsay. I'm saying what point in their message right now are they giving for black people? Because I know we're in my opinion.
All right, now you might have to elaborate on the parameters of these points. So I'm not,
Prime example. We talked the other day about let's use the reparations that they owe us, 40 acres and a mule. Let's use the reparations as, well, let's lower the student loan rate to 9%. And also volley that if you finish a 4-year degree and you go to the military, a black person should be forgiven their student loans as a form of reparation. That right there gives an advantage for a black man. So what has the Republican Party done to give that advantage? Because I'm saying right now, I don't know anything in the Democrat. I could be ignorant. Don't get me wrong. That the Democratic Party has right now that gives us. I'm saying if we're at 2.
I get where you're going. My thing is though, fam. I think that. To piggyback off of the laws that he already did though is points.
No.
I think because here's the thing, right? You don't want to use the platinum plan because you're focusing on where the money coming from. So that's fair. But we don't need the money for better, for them to go a step in, another program similar or enhance the opportunity zone, or to take the First Step Act further in forms of sentencing as far as, getting people out. What about and honestly, it has less
Gino,
because it got rid of the mandatory minimums.
No, but you're saying what it could. I'm asking this question. What came out of Trump or Biden's mouth right today that's going to put us from 2 to 8? I'm not saying your ideas aren't great.
Okay.
Right now,
I know
none of them.
I know he is going on more criminal justice, huh?
No, I'm saying if I went on his website that I'm going to read it right now, that's going to say, I want to give black people, every first year out of college black person, $3,000. I'm saying like literally give us that up, because the reason why I say this is I left you kind of hanging on it. The reason why I said that is I don't care what side all of us are on. we as three people right now, I know right now, three of us right now, and the people that are commenting, we have the object of what can we do to take a collective group of Black people, 34 million Black people in the United States or something like that?
But I know we're 13%. So
So
let's just take 13%.
13%, right? How can we take the 13% of Black people and go from 2 to 8 to put us that much closer to just being
right? And Julian, I get where you're going, brother, but like my only rebuttal to that would be you have to look at what progress we've made under this administration, and you'd have to give him credit for that to think that he's going to continue it. Now, I agree that if you go on his plan, specific Black people, it is just for, you have to go to like platinum plan as far as listed. But if you listen to his speeches, which you probably don't.
I do. Listen, I'm a military guy. He's still the president. I'm not going to say that's not my president.
I respect
He's the president. He's the president of the United States. Do I have to agree with him when I go to a rally for him? Would I shake his hand? None of my cup of tea, but I'm not going to be like, I don't like some of the commissioners that I ran against. I call them commissioners. Yeah.
I respect that, brother. But my thing is like, if you listen to his rallies, he'll say and he'll address is like, I did this for the African American community. I'm just getting started. The best is yet to come. Now, again, I understand that it's at that point, it's just words. But see, the difference is he's put action prior to words. Now he's actually, he did words. When he addressed that, what do you have to lose speech? He passed legislation and everything he talked about. The difference is on the other side, all we've got was words. So I would say, and I get what you're going with, and I would say from as far as a plan in stone setting outside of the platinum plan. But I think when you say how are we going to pay for it, that's only the $500 billion. And keep in mind that came later. So the other things like the progression of criminal justice and things of that nature, we already got, and I think he will further it. I really believe it. And I think we just got to give him a chance, man. I think as Black people, we're about action. We've always been. And I think under this guy, we've seen it. Whether, some people say it's not that great, it's better than what we've gotten. So I think we got to give the guy a little bit of a chance to finish what he started. That's, and for Stephen Robinson, what can we do to help people, my brother? I think that we got to stop being jealous of each other. I think that, if a brother's doing something to feed his family, I think we need to shout him out. I think that we need to work on showing love to each other as opposed to not even, speaking. I think we should greet each other, like we used to do. I mean, hell, I heard old heads. The one thing I do hear of them is like, they used to go to different cities, man, show love to each other, man. That's where you got the term, my brother is from that time, man. We actually consider each other brothers. They said like you could go to a different city in the civil rights era and people would house you. Other brothers and sisters would house you and feed you like you were family. I think that we've gone so far and we're like, it's us against the world mentality individually, which I understand, you need that in capitalism. But I think that like, I want to see Julian Taylor do good. I want to do stuff with it, see him do good. We all got families, man. We need to support each other on a whole nother level. And I think if we can usher in the era of brotherly love, man, I think that I tell you what, I think that it'll stop the violence, and we actually value Black lives, Black families, and Black love of thyself, man.
Yeah, fact. Stephen, what you said is, what do you think we can do to help? I'm always gonna preach from a statistically saying, just in general. I'm gonna go off the road, but I'm gonna come back. So let's say this right now. This is for Stephen only. If we're saying that our taxes get raised, if the school board goes to their board meeting on every Monday, every month, every second Monday or whatever of the month, and they raise taxes to pay the school bill, right? You're going to see those taxes hit your bank account within 2 weeks or to a month, right? Now, if the state legislator goes and raise their taxes, you'll see that tax within 3 to 6 months. Now, if the federal government tax bills, tax cuts, whatever happen, you're not going to see that tax until 9 to 24 months. So the thing that I personally think Black communities are doing, let's just focus here on Beaver County because that's where all three of us are from. Let's look at Beaver Falls, Aliquippa. The one thing I think we're doing wrong is we don't have people of our skin tone doing the things that give the advantage to, let's say, white people or other communities. Prime example, we don't take advantage of Black-owned financial advisors or Black-owned CPAs Black-owned real estate agents like my man Josh Maven, who's a commenting, Black-owned renters like Gino. If we take advantage of our Black people, we can do farther for us. Will that bring down the crime rate? A little bit, because we're going to see more Black people being able to trust older Black people, not in a drug or gang-related setting, to make ourselves grow. I honestly think, but I know Steph Whitted. If I can go find a kid right now in the streets as an African American, and he says he wants to do protection, all I have to do is call Steph Whitted, and Steph Whitted's going to be like, send him my info, and Steph's going to call him, figure out where he's trying to go. But I know you too. But we don't have enough of that. And I think that's where it is. Like, I agree with you, Gino. Something you said the other day about like the fathers and all that. We got a big step to climb with that, because there's a system that is also here to divide us on that. So we got to get that in the courts. But when we do that is, if we have a strong local, a strong county, a strong state representation of Black people, you can't come with that glossy money. I mean, let's just say it like this. You can't come here and Democrat or Republican, Trump comes here and say he wants the Black vote. I mean, we got some hitters, from school board members to township supervisors to state legislators, blah, 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 down the line, that say, well, we'll give you the vote, but we need Franklin Avenue fixed tomorrow. You know what I mean? And that's how we have to come together as a collective of Black people, or just in general. I mean, I think, if we're going to go just Black people, I'm going to go Beaver County here. Now, everybody knows I ran for Beaver County, but let's look at Beaver County as a collective: white, Black, Puerto Rican, Asian, gay, straight, whatever. If we go as Beaver County saying, well, this is what we want, and we collectively back it, that we want a bus line or a trolley line straight to Pittsburgh for the better job growth, but we want to live in the suburbs. I'm just making stuff up, as you can tell. If we come anything, that one is stronger than that one collective. This fist is stronger than that one person. If I try to poke you in the eye, it's going to hurt more if I punch you. So I honestly believe Black people, just to me, we are divided. Like, I mean, it's more than political party. It's like we're just divided. Like, I mean, Gino, I don't have anything else to say. We are divided.
Hey, since we are in an election time, let's talk about those local elections, because what you said was important. We don't have enough people in those positions. Let's talk about some of those positions that are important for people to focus on, because I think we do focus on the president. What positions handle what? Like, if I got an issue with the police department, who do I go talk to? Say if banks are discriminating in the area, who do I go talk to? You know what I'm saying? Like, what positions important?
I think that like he was saying, the mayors, council, state reps. I mean, I think every position is important. I think we just got to win them. I think we got to win them, and I think we got to elect people that we know. Like a Julian Taylor, Rico Elmore. We got to put people in power that
Kobe Cole.
Kobe Cole, we got to put people in power that we know and that we can trust, right? And that's for the first step. And then those people have to stay solid, man. I mean, the problem is a lot of people win and forget, who put them there. And then the problem is we get in a pattern of just voting for them because we like them. I'm not with that, man. I think that, we help support you. We get you in. We need to, hold them accountable. And honestly, I think that that's what we're moving to. I think that this election, and with Donald Trump, I think he's literally awakened a lot of people politically. I think we came in 2016, if you look at the numbers, lame duckish. I think people really weren't that interested, in politics. And not to go Trump, Obama, but look at that. After Obama, especially in our communities, our numbers were terrible in the 2016 election. So if Obama was that good to us, or, we would have been riding that momentum, and there wasn't. It was flat. And I heard Brother Julian, again, we don't want to keep going, but I just want to reference that about the Senate and the Congress. But the problem is, though, man, he got a certain group's agenda passed when he didn't have that Congress. I'm just tired of us being left out. I think that Brother Coleman stated, the municipalities, we got to go for power at every level. We need to do it at every level and hold it down. And I think that honestly, and going back again, we have to stop spreading the rhetoric.
You know, Mike,
I think
that is true though. That is because I said we're divided. Mike got me. That's one of my mentors. I know that. What we're saying, you know, maybe we have to change the topic. Maybe not the topic, the verbiage. You know what I mean? Maybe he is, because I seen that and I kind of like, well, I was going to talk about it after. Maybe we're using the word divided.
Yeah, I don't think it's that we're so much divided. I just think there's not enough of. I think there's not enough of us producing, and there's not enough of us who get over that hump. Like, say, if you start a restaurant in a town like Beaver Falls, and after the first year feel like it's not doing good, you may say, "Dang, don't nobody support me." But no, you might just be going through that trial period that you just need to get over the hump. You might need to be a little bit creative and stay around. I'm sure there's some rough patches that Athens went through. I'm sure there's some rough patches. You know what I'm saying? So.
Let's change the verbiage, Gino. Let's think of a different word to not.
Well, here's the thing. Well, let's talk about it though.
Yeah.
I mean, we may not be as divided locally. Like I would say, like in my generation, Beaver Falls, we're all cool. Like honestly, I don't have any disdain to anybody my age group. If I see them, it's all love. But that doesn't mean though, at certain generation, like the younger people, when they go to other towns, or when I was that age, when I went to other towns. You know, with a certain town, you know who, I mean, we got down. We had animosity just because we're from different cities. So we are still all black people, but yet we're still divided. So if Aliquippa and Beaver Falls don't like each other, well, that's division, right? That's
competition, because after height, it was never, was it personal with y'all?
Bro, the war. Bro, the fighting between Falls and Quip was for years. Every year. It was like literally for years. And the thing is, it stems from competition in sports, but it carried over into the streets. Once it leaves the gridiron or the court, bro, that's division. And we're using a rivalry from athletics to fuel drama and beef that people were shot over and beat up and sent to the hospital over. What? That's division, fam. So, Mike, I agree with you that we're not divided. I think in our local town. I mean, here's the thing: we're a small town, though. You go to Chicago, they're the same side, same city. Look at that division. You go to DC, look in the Frederick Douglass projects, bro. If you read about it, it's crazy. Little kids are being killed there too. That's division. What other word would we use to describe that?
I call that poverty, bro. That's poverty to me, man.
But Ed Coleman said.
How are y'all able to read this? I can't read nothing.
I got my phone up. That's the reason why I can read it. Ed Coleman said we need to work better collectively. So I'm talking about black on black crime. So like now I look hypocritical. Thanks, Mike. But we're saying that there's sometimes that we do follow. We need to make our own rhetoric. That's what I was saying about the black on black crime. And that's what I kind of understood when Mike said it. Like we're saying we're not divided. By us saying that we are divided, my man Adrian, he in the military guy. That's one of my great boasters mates, man. Like he's been in like 10 years. That's a good dude right there. Filipino guy when the guy.
I agree with him.
Yeah, he's a great military dude doing a lot of good stuff for the world. I just want everybody to know that. But Gino, by us saying like divided, maybe we just gotta change our tone. Because I think if me and you were sitting there talking to the black community, forget the politics. Some words we may have to like. Maybe we need to say we need to have a better collective. Let's not say divided, because once you say divided, it's already negative. Let's say we don't have a better collective. Like if Gino's selling wristbands for $12, the collective should buy the wristbands from Gino for $12. Let's not be collectively together or something like. Let's use different words sometimes, because I can honestly see that. Because I just talked about black on black crime, you know what I mean? And he's saying that the division. I think that's what Mike was saying more or less, and I can understand that. Yeah,
okay,
you know what I'm saying.
But here's the thing, and Mike is, and that's my brother, and this is we're realists though. What other word did you want to describe the rifts that escalate to murder? What other word can you use but division? Or you want to use hatred, self-hate? I mean, we have to be real. I understand people don't want to talk about black on black crime, bros. But bro, like I stated, everyone here, and I guarantee you, the brothers on the I can't see who's all on. I guarantee you they know somebody who was lost to gun violence, or they know somebody in prison for violence.
Yeah,
Go ahead.
I don't disagree. I just think it's all symptoms of poverty. You know what I'm saying?
Yes.
I really think it's all symptoms. I don't think we're so much divided. I think you're trying to fight to get out. You're trying to fight to get out. And nobody taught you that there isn't no lack. There is no lack. If you grind for this and you grind for this and you're both unique, there's room for everybody.
There's room.
You know what
Everybody
I'm saying?
can eat. Everybody can eat. But basically, you're talking about crab in a barrel mentality. But the thing is yes, poverty, right? But the thing is, we've been even worse poverty in this nation. Yeah, that's true. Rich brothers. But like, we've been worse off though, Seth, in poverty, and the violence that we're seeing is not that high. It's a mentality, bro. And I mean, honestly, like, I've talked to it with you and others. I mean, I think that we have to get past the gangster image, man. Honestly, I think gangster rap, we got, like, honestly, if you look at it, gangster rap has been cemented the longest, honestly, in black music. Look at like the blues, I would say, is still, been here, but they're not relevant as much. If you look at art throughout American history, our music time has changed from ragtime, blues, to the classicals, like Nat King Cole, to the soul, to like Al Green, Sam Cooke, to the Earth, Wind and Fire, to the 80s like Michael and them. I mean, we've always changed, but it was never violent. I think if you look at the spikes in violence, music is powerful, man. And I think when you listen every day from a kid talking about shooting somebody, I think that especially with no father, I think when you get in those situations, that's how you think is to grab that gun, man. Honestly. And it's desensitizing us to violence, bro.
Wait, hold on. Because at the end of the day, just like a regular poem, it's all a form of expression of their feelings in a positive way. So if I were to say that, trying to use a great lyric, Drake said that, okay, that's not a good time for me to try to rap. So I'm saying they're using, like, okay, Steph raps, he's a very good rapper. It doesn't mean that if he says, like, I'm gonna protect my family to grab the 9 or something like that. Let's say he said that in that form. He's basically saying, we know that you have to be able to interpret the metaphor. The metaphor is, I'm gonna do anything at all costs to protect my family in a situation where my family is being threatened. The music.
Julian, real quick though, bro, that's not the common. Let's go listen to the boy like NLE Chopper, whatever his name. He's like, walk him down in my J's. Like, walk up to him in his J's and smoke him, bro. Like, let's stop. Let's not act like these new rappers are talking about straight up murder, bro. This isn't no defend my family. This is straight up murder to the op, bro. Like, literally. And these young kids are getting that. And look, they're becoming it. They're literally trying to perpetuate that music. And it's like, bros, music has power, bro. I mean, it's always had power.
Bro, the reason hip hop has been around so long is because of how raw it is. It's because of how honest it is. The artist, you can listen to me. The artists who don't come from the streets, or an artist who really doesn't have money, they're easily exposed. The ones that we connect with the most are the ones that tell their story. So it's the situations that is creating the music. Let's take this for an example. When we were growing up, the drug dealer was cool. Right now, the drug user is cool. That wasn't because of music. Rap music wasn't telling you to use drugs.
Yes, it is.
It wasn't telling you to use Smith.
Yes, it was.
No, it wasn't.
What
rapper?
The Migos, Papa Perky.
Bro, hold on. Okay, let me finish then. Because that's the generation that I'm talking about. That is the users.
Yeah.
Okay? Because Jeezy and them weren't saying, yo, let's sniff a lime, bro. Let's take some perks. That's not what they were saying. They actually look at the youngins as fiends the same way that we do. Like, what is y'all? So the music didn't create the fiends. What happened was the culture changed. The drug dealers who had kids, and you know what I mean, and this next generation didn't go through what we went through. They now live a more affluent lifestyle, and they're into drugs more.
I'll tell you this, fam. I agree that, in our time, the drug dealer was to be cool. And guess what? In our time, a lot of people was trapping. Young people was trapping. Okay?
But they was trapping to get
not
out.
Not because of music.
Yes,
it was a form of the expression to get rich to get out.
I'm trying to tell you, yes, it was. Think about it. If you were poor and you hear the music to get money, you're seeing the videos. And not only that, you go and see the trap stars or got money. They got cars, they got clothes, they got chains. What do you mean? It's all in perspective. It's all visual. So why can't I be that guy? And all I'm saying is, right, you say the era changed. Well, guess what? The music changed. And listen, you say that it's in a sense a shift, but look at Bobby Shmurda and that goofy ass performance he did in front of all those executives, bro. Stop, bro. They push it intentionally. They are pushing certain artists.
Whoa. That's a totally different conversation. I'm not saying that elite hasn't used hip hop.
Yeah.
I'm not saying that people haven't used it and said this is the best way to make money, or yo, we could use this to destroy him, promote him. I'm not saying that. All I'm saying is what catches our eye the most is what's raw. And what's raw is what comes from the story. So if we focus on ending poverty, if we focus on better education, you'll see the music change.
But so Seth, we're not focused on that since when?
No.
Wait a minute. Our ancestors got bit by dogs and sprayed with hoses so we can go to them schools.
And things got worse in the 80s and the 90s once crack hit.
They got worse because of crack. And guess what? They ushered in the crack.
So
right?
They didn't usher in the crack. They never fixed poverty, my man.
Bro.
But we never educated. Let's talk here. Let's talk.
Bro, who brought the crack in?
Wait. Forget that. Let's talk about black folk. We're going to talk about, but we're going to get real uncomfortable on here.
Let's get it.
Let's talk about it, right? So when you go on Facebook and you see somebody die, the first thing you see is one of them GoFundMes, right? We don't even leave legacies behind for our children. So the poverty, like everybody's talking about, is we can go rap music to culture, to cancel culture, to culture, period, is we don't use our dollar, which is the second highest buying power in the United States, to our advantage. In the white community, in the Jewish community, $1, I'm talking about $1 bill, will stay in the Jewish community for 26 days. In the Chinese community, it will stay in there for 28 days. In the Caucasian community, it will stay in there for 12. In the black community, it lasts 6 minutes. We don't even go buy our clothes from cash out from somebody all of us know, to get every one of our gear to support a black business in Dana and Maria Stevenson's. We don't do that. We still take ourselves to the mall. We go to Foot Locker. We don't keep our money into the black community longer than 6 minutes. I mean, shit, if we get to 1/2 an hour, we're going to start building legacies. We don't have life insurance. We don't have investments. We don't have generational wealth. We don't have wealth management. So at the end of the day, when we go back to everything that's going on, rappers, Jadakiss, to Nas, to Jay-Z, they sold drugs to get ahead, to finally invest in real estate and do everything that we say white people are doing. But they understood that they had to say what they had to say to go mainstream to get to that point. Let's revert back to it right now. Steph, Gino, me, we put our kids in better positions to grow up and be successful. Now, are black people and fathers and black mothers doing that now? Some, would I say it's higher than what our grandparents did? Maybe 3 or 4%. It's not enough. We are still stuck in poverty. That's what it is. And we want to say, well, when somebody goes to the like I'm just using this person, I don't know if this is true. Let's say LeBron James was from Beaver Falls, Pennsylvania, and he got 100 and some odd million contract every 4 years, blah, 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 blah. Well, it took him until year what? He's in year 17. It took him until year 13, 14 to get a school. You know what I mean? We're saying that he didn't invest into it. Now, I'm not saying he's wrong or he's one of the most financial. Yeah, let's say he took him 13 years just to give Akron something. You know what I mean?
But
we're not leaving.
Let's go back to Jay-Z. Let's go back to them. Listen to the raps, bro. Listen to Tupac. You know what I'm saying? Listen to the messages, bro. That was raw. That was real. Like, we got some brothers today, like J. Cole, Kendrick Lamar. You know what I'm saying? Them two is beasts. Joyner Lucas. I mean, we got brothers like that, but they're not getting that style isn't dominant. The style that's dominant is these young goofballs just talking about 30-round drums, probably never even been in that. I mean, it's like we got to stop. I just think it's not conducive. And we can sit there and say it's raw. It's not. It's bad. You know what I mean? It's bad. Look, Scarface, the movie, did more than Scarface, the rapper, to me. Oh, of course.
So that ain't to blame for all the things. Come on, man.
Wait a minute. That's a fact. Scarface, the movie.
Time out. What part is he? What was Jay-Z referring to in that movie? I'm just asking because I that kind of what
No. Jay-Z was just trying to explain because people were saying that rap music is causing all of black people's issues, and he was saying, "Wait, Scarface the movie did more than Scarface the rapper."
okay.
He's saying the movie was more influential. So yes, we do have influences. I think the biggest thing is we have a cultural issue. A few people in here said there's a lot of single moms, fathers not being in a home. So there's a lot of issues, but you just can't put all the blame on the entertainment. You just can't do that. It's a reflection.
I don't put the blame on entertainment, but look at the spikes of in violence. Okay, the 90s was bad, right? That's when gangster rap from the late 80s to the 90s. Okay, you can talk about today, overall crime, violent crime is down, but if you look at predominantly black cities, violent crime is up. So again, it's like,
what about the steel mills though, Gino?
Like,
I'm not going to disagree.
But here's the thing:
violent crime. I'm talking about. Gino, let's be honest here. Your grandparents. Let's go to our grandparents. We all got our grandparents are fairly. We all should have known what they did. A lot of those people went to the mill and got a good job, and then all steel mills. Like I think J&L ran all the way until 1948. I mean 1984 in Aliquippa. And then they shut its doors. That's when you're going to see the spike in crime because black people came over here to do a service for 400 years. We were the textile and we were the industrial part of America. So we didn't kill each other unless, other circumstances. We didn't kill each other all like that.
What was one of the first songs that was considered gangster rap?
I would say what Rocking. Oh no, KRS-One, probably KRS-One.
He said, "Fuck the police coming straight from the underground." Now listen, police brutality. No, rap music.
You think that was
NWA?
I think KRS-One 9mm was
maybe. But let's look at NWA for a second, right? NWA rap music and NWA's music did not create police brutality. Police brutality created NWA's music.
Agree.
You know what I'm saying? So again, this brings it back to the culture.
And look what happened with them. Look what happened with that group. And
they was young. That's business. That just happens. People break up.
It was beef. They fought. You know what I mean? It was beef.
Right, so that's culture. That's a totally different conversation.
That's culture. That's business.
So look, that's business. But look at the Temptations. There was business too. There wasn't that violence.
No, they had drug issues though. They had drug issues.
Hey, but regardless, okay, there wasn't violence. So look, you got gangster rap emerges, and look, even Once Friends. Look at that. They take it to violence, bros. So again,
that's crack though, bro. When you making money, bro. What? Crack was a business that was just lawless. A business that was like that mobster mentality came in, bro.
Listen, bro. It's not like mobsters, though. Listen, I'll tell y'all this.
David Ruffin ain't out here trying to kill nobody. You know what I'm saying?
Hey,
the biggest drug dealer is the mint, though. The biggest drug dealer is the mint. The government is the biggest drug dealer of them all. They sell. They setting up. They the slickest snake.
I just think for us to even call it gangster is not, man. If you go to real gangsters, man, they dress dapper. They was about money. They beat over money. I mean, I think we're so hell bent on respect. And it's like, bro, at the end of the day, I will tell you this. No matter what, you will that time and that respect, that notoriety, that famous or infamous time, it will fade. You literally have to do something every week to keep your name being talked about. You will be forgotten. It's like we have to do better, man. I just want that, we can walk down the street and just be cool. honestly, I know. Listen, and I can't speak like I fault them for that. You know, I've been there. The thing is I'm saying I've been there. It's not worth it. It's not. It was honestly. It's trust me. It's not worth it, man. We got to do better. We got to be better. It's
I
not
feel
just
that.
on the entertainment, but think about it. These young kids, the first men, the single moms that they're talking about in the chats, the first men they're seeing is these entertainers, bros. So when you see in these young boys and tattoos on their face,
I feel like
guns
we're
and
doing better
things,
though.
that is influencing you.
But I feel like we're doing better as a collective. I honestly believe that enough of us grew up without fathers that our generation is low key doing better. I mean, there's also been major progressions in the Supreme Court. RGB did a great job at looking at it from both sides that men actually have some more rights than they do. And I honestly believe that a lot more men are taking the woman to the courthouse. Matter of fact, if you went to the courthouse to vote, it's a great thing going on right there. They're doing a great job. I just want to let everybody know that. But men are starting to realize that they have rights because we're teaching each other that you can go there, file for custody. Yeah, you might have to pay, but you have to get those 1 or 2 days a week to get something to be in their children's lives. I honestly believe. I mean, let's give a number. If I'm gonna go
think we are
40 to
doing
20 right now is doing a better job than what 41 to 75 did.
agree. Oh,
At
I
this moment.
agree. I think that we are. Listen, bros. I think our generation is crucial and it's important right now. I really do. I think if we don't take a stance, we're are going and we make the same mistakes as the generations before us, at least the wreck ones. I think that the generation after us is going to be way worse. I think it's going to be way gone, and it's just going to be. And we got kids, man. I think we have to get more political, get more assertive, take a stand. We got to reach out to these young youths. We have to engage. We have to do something because honestly, brothers, I think our generation is honestly the most important one in a while. And it's game time.
Since the boomers.
Since the boomers. I think, well, I don't the boomers are a little I think the boomers might be getting a failure politically too.
Well, the boomers are still in charge, really. Honestly, if you want to be really like my mom and them, my mom loved my mama to death. I don't want to talk about her, but I'm gonna talk about her. Then with the baby boomers, which would be our grandparents, and then the jet. What is that? Jet. I call them.
I think my mama's a boomer though. She was born in '60.
I think I want to say it's like anything after. I want to say it's weird. I don't know,
Yeah,
but let's just say, yeah, the boomers are a weird generation. Then that next, I think I don't know if Gen Z is behind us. I think they might be Generation X. I think I don't know.
that's the
But-
one before us, right?
Yeah, I call them the baby boomers babies because they still act like that. They believe that they were supposed to get a job, they're gonna get a retirement, they're gonna buy a house, they're gonna get their boomer's house. Like they didn't do nothing for America. That's our parents. That's really how I feel. It's our parents. So the whole mentality of go get a degree, the college degree at the BS, the general bachelor's is now washed down to being a high school diploma. And then they just put you in debt and it's a way to always pay something back. Which, a lot of us at 18, we're just not mature enough to understand that. So I honestly believe that there's going to be a lot more like me. My son's going to know, Nehemiah and my daughter, they're going to know you can go be a pipe fitter, a carpenter, this, that, the third, pay less, make more money up front. Or you can go to the military, or you can then finally go to school. But once you go to school, these loans are not responsible for you. So if we teach them that, we were told to go to school, Gino, instead. We were told to go to school. Our parents taught us that go to school, you'll get a good job. No one told me, the first time I heard about real estate, Michael Wells. You know what I mean? Michael Wells was one of the first people that told me you could do this, this, and this with real estate. One of the first people that told me about the military was somebody that was in there, I think Anthony Lay from New Brighton. They telling me the benefits that you can get from it. Other kids that are just taking different routes, not being educated on, they're just taking different routes, are coming back teaching their kids. And I believe that I fault our parents. I'm big. I tell my mom all the time, y'all the worst generation. Y'all don't do anything. Y'all still waiting for Social Security and everything. I think a lot of us know it might not be there. I mean, that's a factual fact.
Well,
It
to
might
be
not be there.
completely fair, to be completely fair with y'all, I mean, I'm a college graduate, and to be completely fair, college was a great experience to me, man. I'm gonna tell you, I would recommend it, but it's not a mandatory. I learned a lot. And to be completely honest with you, real estate, I actually learned in college. I mean, the thing is, like, I went off to college, bros, and I mean, I changed my major like 3 times, and I went to real estate, honestly. And bros, like the teacher, honestly, and to be fair, I had a great experience, but this teacher said to me, it was '07, my freshman year, and the housing market was crashing. He said, let me tell y'all some day one. He said, if you take anything from this class, he said, save your money and invest in real estate. He said, this is the time right now to go buy houses. If you take anything, just know that. And guess what? That resonated with me. And that's what led me eventually to where I am, on the journey I am today when it comes to this real estate. Also, hearing people rapping about a certain somebody who also is in real estate too, you
just couldn't do it.
I learned that real estate is wealth. Homes
Yes.
and is wealth. And, both of that was factors, man. Like, I mean, let's be honest, man. Donald Trump was the most rapped about guy in the game. Okay. Him and then Bill Gates, right? The computer stuff, not for me. But real estate, okay. But then I go to college and he says that. And honestly, I think I bought my first house. I was 22 years old, 23, and it was in Aliquippa. Shout out to 15001. It's funny, huh? But I bought my first house in Aliquippa, and guess what? That house led me to where I am today. I sold it, of course. I had to get out of there, But come back home, I just couldn't do it. But
Gino, you said you were 21. You said you were 21 when you heard about it.
22 years old when I bought my first. Because honestly, I dragged my feet. Honestly, it was like I wanted to do it. I knew I was going to do it, but I was like, do I really need to do it? And then I said, the hell with it, man. It was a crazy deal. It was a squatter in the house. I had to evict them. And, but here's the thing. Aliquippa was, that house was a great experience to me. It taught me a lot. And I don't regret it, So shout out to that experience. And then that fueled me to come back home and, try to buy houses in my city, and redo houses. I buy dilapidated houses and I'm turning them out. And, I got to make my city great again. One house at a time.
I think these are we touched on a lot of things tonight. I want to thank both of you for coming. I want to thank Brother Roylin for coming. And it's important that we put together something where we talk about business, where we talk about culture as well. Because one thing I need the next generation to understand is that being uncomfortable, and this is not a plug. Being uncomfortable is the way to go, because I'm sure your first property, I'm sure you in the military, me with the media, everything comes with some type of stress.
Yeah.
Everything comes with stress. Even if you decide to do nothing with your life, it comes with some type of stress. So you might as well choose what you want to do and be ready to be uncomfortable. You know what I mean? So let's set some other things up. Let's have these conversations. I appreciate y'all. I'm gonna give you both a chance to say something as we lead out, and we're gonna head out.
Well, real quick before my conclusion though, and then Julian can do his, and then I'll finish. Pressure busts pipes, and it makes diamonds, right?
Right.
You got to get the pressure to find out what you're gonna do. And hey, you might be a pipe the first time. Don't give up. But go ahead, Julian.
First off, I got a shirt on right now. I'll show everybody. It says a black man with a vision is more dangerous than a black man with a gun. I need everybody to understand that black people, we are great, we're beautiful, we're kings and queens. Understand your loved ones, understand your people, and make sure that you make the right decisions for black people in the world. We are reading this. I'm not going to say that white people aren't doing a great job. There's some white people that have our back and that do great things for us, and I appreciate them, and I love them. And I need that everybody to understand that black people, we're fighting. We have a spotlight. Let's take advantage of this. Let's understand it. Let's make sure we put our money away. Let's make sure we have different ways to stream to each other to make generational wealth for our children, and as well as all the white brothers and sisters, all the Asian brothers and sisters, Mexican brothers and sisters, all you guys that stand with us right now that are fighting. It's an amazing thing. Also, don't forget the stuff that's going on. Don't ever turn your the light away from what's going on in the world. Right now, I know Walter Wallace is going on. I want to let everybody know. Do I agree with the rioting and looting? No, we did that already to get a national spotlight. We already did that. I want you guys to understand that as just like I said at the beginning, when you guys march down the city streets of Philadelphia, have an agenda for your cops. 4 points. Hit them with 4 straight points that you want. Every time you march, you go straight to the courthouses. You go straight to the police commission. You go straight to important places and give them your 4 demands every time. We don't have to burn up cities no more, guys. We've already done it. I know it's an unpopular opinion, and I'm speaking out on it publicly. There's no reason for it. That's where you guys live. You know what I mean? So if you live there, make your city great. Just like Gino said, I ain't gonna say make the world great. I'm gonna say make your city great. And you guys use your political platform. I mean, you use your tragedy. That's what it is.
Right.
It's a tragedy. Use your tragedy to say, we want police to understand mental health. We want police to use tasers first and then fire their gun. We want police to, if they don't know what to do, call for more backup until they figure it out. If we want these things, we got to demand them at City Hall. We need to demand them in the voting booth in non-presidential years. I'll tell you right now, Beaver County, the biggest piece of election time is 2021, and you guys just don't even know it. And that's my sign off.
Hey, I'd like to take a question. Is there any questions from the audience, or no? Are they done? I'd like to take a question from the people.
There was a couple of people on here. There's a question I think you might like is, no, I think Steph got them all. Never mind, I'm lying. Let me shut up.
Yeah, whatever. I'd like to take a question from them and then, wrap it up based off of piggybacking off of that.
Yeah, everything's pretty much been statements, people posting links and good job. Check out this video. I don't see any questions that have been, aren't we the ones that consume it, talking about hip hop still. So yeah, there's not really no questions right now.
All right, bet. Well, then I'll close it off is that I think that, man, we got to stay focused. We got to stop falling for bait traps and, fear mongering tactics. I think that we have to stay, honestly, conscientious of what we're doing politically, locally, and ourselves. I think that we can't be afraid to take chances, man, and support each other. I think that, we travel this world, thinking, by yourself or just your select group. But I agree. I think we need to support each other more. We need to uplift each other more, share each other's stuff more, back each other. I think we got all these damn friends on social media, over 1,000 friends. Most of them I don't even know. But yet, when somebody posts something, we need to share that, share it. You know what I mean? Who gives a damn? Share. A share can go a long way. A like goes a long way. You build up algorithms for people, and we need to do that. And I'm going to definitely do that even more. But we got to get past that. We got to stop calling and feeling like, we're betraying each other, man. Because I'm going to tell you this. As far as the political level, we need to be on both sides of the aisle. And our generation is going to be the one to do it. Whether it's this election, next election, it's going to happen. It's got to happen. And I mean, the old people telling us different, man. Your time is up, man. Stop trying to pass your ways on us when it ain't work. You know what I'm saying? Seriously, stop. Like, your time's up. We're grown. I'm 32 years old. I know the research, the politics myself. I don't need, your time is done. Just go ahead. They can vote however they want. Our generation, we got to be more collective, more strategic. And I think that we're going to usher it in. We got some great leaders. We got some great state reps on the way. And November 3rd, we got to make it shake, man. Come out and vote. And, as far as the president goes, you know where to go.
Hey, wait. Ed Coleman said on here, Gino, I need to know. He said, Gino, what is your strategy if Trump loses? I need to know. I'm sorry. I know I'm making this long. What is it?
That's a great question. And I'll tell you, honestly, if we lose, what am I going to do? I just got to keep being active. There's nothing else. I'm not going to cry about it. I think if we move the needle, he might do something. If we move the needle, Biden might wake up from the basement nap and actually do something. I doubt it, but I think I think that when you got brothers on the right and sisters on the right, like my homie E out in Philly, I think that when we're pumping what Trump did. You know, we're constantly championing what he did for us. So I think even if we lose, they're going to be on the line. They got to do something. I think right now we're more politically woke right now, and our generation is, you know, seeing and hearing things. I think it looks good for us. I think it looks great for us with Trump. I think it looks good either way, because I tell you what, I ain't stopping. I'm not stopping. Win or lose, the red wave is coming.
True story, man. I appreciate both y'all.
First off,
go ahead.
Thank you. This is all, you know me, I'm always very appreciative. Thank you for even asking me to talk. And guys, even if you don't like this video, you don't agree with this, Steph Whitted Productions is killing the game.
Steph with a T.
My bad. It's killing the game. He's 100% on point. He's just a great dude. Gino, thank you. I just want to give you your shout out.
Thank you. Hey, I thank both of you brothers, man. Hey, we talk damn near daily. You know, I had to sell it that we was gonna box and stuff, but you know how Americans do, man. They like that little hostility. That's Julian's my bro, man. His second Baptist when he was youngin'. Murdered same since we were youngins, man. Shoveling snow for money. Remember me, you, my brother, and the Mobleys up on Hill, and me and Dak was the only ones that got the money.
Right, and Dak was so pissed.
Wings, and they ate all me and Dak's wings.
Oh, bro, we got in trouble for that. That's crazy. You remember that? That's wild. We got in trouble.
I don't.
Big Mo was pissed.
Again, this is love, man. This is love. This is how it needs to be. You know, even different political, it doesn't matter, man. We got the same agenda. We got to pull on it. Both sides is needed. God bless you all. God bless the viewers. God bless America, and let's keep it great, man.
Let's go Steelers.
Oh yeah, and 6-0, baby. Steelers Super
Ravens ain't ready. So all the Raven fans, you know, get in my personal DMs. I'm taking bets. Just let everybody know. You know,
Steelers win the Super Bowl. Period. We can have a Whitted Media sports edition. All right, y'all. Good night.
All right.